Okay, we're now recording. First, the big announcement, since Stefan isn't on here, I was going to let him do it, but he just really, this is on the Family Book Career download section, and if you go into the pinned announcement, click on see more, this last link will take you to the download area. There is a new version of Family Book Creator. It's build 617. It just got released today.
And I just bought mine last week.
And more importantly, here is the updated user guide.
It'll not seeing where you're looking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to share my screen. So sorry. Okay, here we shared.
Well, you can still update your edition though.
Yeah. Well, Pierre will. Or sorry, I'm already thinking about next week's classes on Charting Companion. This is a pinned announcement. I let Stefan update it. But in the pinned announcements, always the last link will take you to the download area, which takes you to here. You select your version. This one is the Family Book Career 2019. So here is, you can download the latest build 617. And more importantly, here is the updated user's guide. The old guide was 97 pages. This one is now 107 pages. And it's and one of my favorite, besides all the updated new features in it, one of my favorite things is the new appendix. Family Book Creator. Which for all these media categories, let me just, so it covers them, kind of roughly tells you what they're for, and it even tells you the page of the manual.
Perfect.
And like I said, when you're doing it, if you're looking at the PDF itself, you can just click on the page number and boom, it takes you right there. So, or if you print it out, just go to the page. And
so it isn't actually an appendix for our books. It's an appendix.
It's an appendix on the manual itself.
Yeah. Okay.
And the big thing is that they cover all. It's in one location. Basically, is all those media categories. So, and the custom fact types that Family Book Creator will use in Family Tree Maker. So
does it have whether you can use that for Word or PDF? Like, can you use?
Well, the handle story as text includes the content from word processor documents, because that can also be used for.
Oh.
And if you click on here, it does tell you, RTF, the DocX, the Open Document Template, Family Tree Maker, Smart Story, the HTML, and PDF. And I am thinking of doing something like what you showed me. I'm thinking of doing it in a spreadsheet and just have tick marks that you can use it on, like the different file extensions. And
yeah, that would be good.
So I am thinking of redoing that one text file. So, but anyway, so I'm gonna change things up a little bit. I'm going to the Waller side of the family now, rather than the Hall side. Some of the media categories I want to show are the oops. I want to do the Family Chart Center, and then I'm going to start handling this handle story as text items. I think I'll just leave that up there. So I'm going to just do a standard book, and this, like I said, is just a subset of my tree. I tested now, it only takes about 30 seconds to generate the book. Yeah, no, okay, yep, here we go. Keep forgetting while recording, it slows things down just a little bit. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to just create the standard book. Oh, this is really taking a while. Well, yeah, fortunately I saved some of these, so I'm not gonna go through the hassle of. Oops, that's to do. Okay. So we get something like this, you know, here's my descendants. Let me keep this on here. Let me just jump here to the family start. Now that, okay, now I took this story. Let me back up here. Let me just back up here. Okay, I've got a story that that I got from the Waller book. It wasn't done by me, it was done by my mom's fourth cousin. She maintains this Master Waller book that I've recently just taken over. And it had this really nice story on the history of the Waller name and how we came over. And I've got it saved in, you know, the origins of the Waller name. The Waller farm, it starts with a V, but it's pronounced with a W. The two brothers that came over, the move to America. And I thought, well, that's just a neat story. But since it pertains to multiple people, I thought it would just be nice to print it with the media. And since that's a Word document, you have to use this category, FBC, handle story as text. Now, since it's not just to my great grandfather, it kind of contains multiple people. I can also assign this handle story as text before family chart. And now it here's the family, the starting person. And then see, it moves this document, so it puts it right in here, right before the family chart. And if I didn't want it there, maybe I want it after, you can reassign it. So instead of before, just have it after, and then it should look like this. Get to the family start. So here's the family tree start, and now this document is moved after that. and then it goes on to the kids. So that's just some of the flexibility you can do with that. And if you just have, pardon?
I have a document that I'd like to do, like put it before the family chart, the way you have to start with there.
Yeah.
However, it's got pictures in it also.
That should not matter.
No?
As long as they don't use, in Word, you can specify, you know, whether it's using like absolute or relative positioning. As long as it doesn't use absolute positioning, you should be fine. Now, I think this latest bill takes care of that. I just have not verified it yet.
So would it be better to make it into a PDF?
Well, it's better as a Word. It can be as a PDF. PDFs can use absolute and relative references too. So,
Okay.
but yes, having pictures does not matter because you can do PDFs as well. Now in this one, I just took, if you just want it printed with the media categories, so if it was just handle story as text, it's gonna print like this, where it won't be before or after. It will actually print as a media item. So after all these, after their kids, so here's their media, and then, okay, here's where it prints like that, and then here's some more media.
And what you just put it into the that person's profile, or that add that to, or linked it to that person? You
Yes.
didn't? Okay.
Yeah, because it's just linked. Oh, keep people. Yeah, because see, it's just linked right here to the person themselves. It's got
Okay.
that person icon. So this icon here, just to the left, that means it's tied to a citation. These means it's tied to a person. And then likewise, you can play around with the ordering of how you do stuff. Some people like have wanted like something kind of like an appendix.
Mm-hmm.
And if this person, so you could attach a document like this to a person, but then arrange it so it's the last thing that prints. So it would print like down here before it goes on to the index of places. It doesn't say appendix, but at least that's one way you could get it at the end of the book. It's kind of a workaround issue, and likewise, you could always do it in Word too. And then in Word, you can create the table of contents if you so wish.
I have a bunch of rural maps, like Saskatchewan and where the Heshka's settled.
Yeah.
And so that would be, I don't want to put it into in with the rest of their information. I'd rather put it into an appendix. And then
Yeah, and you also have the option of putting them into like the foreword or introduction. So it'd be at the beginning of the book. That's always an option. So let me just, you could put it up, you know, like up here and say the foreword or.
Yeah. So if you wanted to put it at the end of the last person, kind of like an appendix would be, is that when you would use that FBC _ has family section?
No. Well, yes and no, because typically if you're doing a descendants book, the children themselves wouldn't have their own section.
Okay, yeah.
Because typically they only have a section if they're married or have children. So you could force that last child to say has own family section, and then all their media would print.
You can only use it in the descendant format, not in the ancestor.
Well, whatever format you're doing, you want to look, I'd say generate the book, see who the last person is in the book,
Okay.
and then attach it to them. And that's this that's this fact type right here, FBCS family section. So it's like if you got someone that never had kids, never got married, say maybe they died in the war, but you got these photos you want to print of them or stories.
Oh, okay.
This is when you would use this custom fact type to force them to have a family section without everyone having a family section, you know,
Okay.
that normally
makes-
wouldn't. And the advantage of this, as say, opposed to having everyone with their own family section, is it greatly increases the number of pages in the book. So this way it can kind of keep the page count down. And especially in some families where you maybe don't have all that much detailed information, you know, so. One other thing that can be nice is to do the family chart center, and what that is for is there can be a photo like in between the couple. And how you would do that, like typically, you know, maybe it's a marriage photo or an anniversary photo. So like, well, right here, I just so happen to have, here's their wedding photo. And if I want that there, it's easier just to add it to the marriage or relationship fact. And probably the easiest way of doing that is on this page. Click on the media, then see, I can just drag this over to the media fact, and then this will relink it to the media fact itself.
Okay. What
Pardon?
was the media category that you put that into?
Well, right now there is no media category, and you do not need to use this category, Family Chart Center, unless you have multiple photos under the marriage fact or the relationship fact.
Okay, that's the only time I use it.
Because here's the marriage. If you click on relationship, because maybe you say they didn't get married, and I know some people say use a marriage fact, put never married in it. Yes, it works, but it's just a pet peeve of mine. It's like you don't create a marriage fact to say they weren't married. You know, but you can do a relationship, and then you could assign the media here. And likewise, you could have notes here and say, hey, they were never married, or so there's two ways if you can do it. But now say on this marriage fact, let's just say, okay, here's them. Maybe you've also got a picture of, you know, not just the couple, but maybe also the wedding party, you know, so you could have multiple photos here.
And where does it go up between the couple?
Yeah. And it will show up, I believe it's like this one. Yeah, see, and now it will show up like here. It puts them right between the couple here.
Okay.
So the wedding photo. Now you only need to use this category, Family Chart Center, is if there are multiple photos here. Say besides the wedding couples, say you got the whole wedding party. It can only put one photo here. And then if you assign the, if you got one photo, you don't have to worry about it. If you got multiples, then you have to pick which one do you want to be in that Family Chart Center. So that's when you would use this Family Chart Center category. Handle story as image, I believe I covered that last one. That's strictly for PDFs. And then the handle story is text. If you do any Word document or HTML, the Smart Family Tree Maker Smart Story, if you want them to print it all, they have to be assigned to this category, handle story as text. And then there are additional categories you can assign, like I said, this is the before and after. The continuous, even, keep sections, new page, odd page, like the new, odd, even, assuming you want it to be on a new page, this media item. Say you wouldn't want it, like this one, say here, so you got some media, some that starts here and then it continues onto the new page. I could assign this handle story as text new page, and then it will force that document to start printing on a new page. It would force a page break. And if you're printing single double-sided, you could force it to be like on an odd page or an even page. The continuous would keep it on the same page, but I believe it still forces its new section. So, because you can have different formatting styles. And then the keep sections, that's similar to the continuous. I think it just won't force a new section. So it could, so it can do, it will follow the default behavior, the default settings from the previous sections. I'm a little fuzzy on this area just because I haven't used these features much other than just to try them out. So, but I believe there are certain sections, because when it does use them, it strips out all, it normally strips out all the section headings.
So do you put these headings into,
You put them into Word in the Family Tree Maker itself.
yes, and, okay,
Because everything you do in here is as, yeah, see, I don't have those categories in here because I'm not using them. But the big thing is like, say, like with the after family chart or before family chart, or any of the, odd start, new page, odd page, you can't just do this. You can't just use this without this. If this handle story as text is not checked, it will never print, no matter what you do.
okay.
So the handle story as text must be done as well as these other ones.
Okay, and what about the handle story as image? Is that the same thing?
Well, handle story as image, that is for like PDFs. And
Yeah.
yes, that is the same thing. You can do like the include all pages, only full pages. But yeah, if that handle story as image is not set, the PDF will never print.
Okay.
Does that apply only to PDF?
For handle story as image, yes, I believe that only applies to PDFs.
But to have the FBC, what was as text, I guess is what you said. You had to have two of them checked. The as text, and then whatever your other choice.
Well, yeah, you need as text.
Yeah.
You did it, but where I said you need two is, say, if you want to do this, say, before the family chart.
Yeah.
you also have to have the handle story as text. So that's the
But that
predominant one.
applies to PDF as well as a Word document, or just PDF?
Yes, the handle story as text will also work with PDF files.
Okay,
So, and it's just whether it uses as text or as an image.
gotcha. Thank
Because if you
you.
use just the PDFs as an image, it treats it like a standard image. You know, where, you know, by default, it'll do about 4 to a page. And sometimes like it as a PDF, if it's a manuscript, you know, that could be tough to read. So you'd want to increase it. And then, so that way, you know, you can use the full width or 80% or any of the other photo album sizes to make it larger. So typically, as a story as image, if it's like a document that is a PDF, then I'd also say full width. And by default, it will do just the first 5 pages of the PDF. If it's like a 6-page, 10-page document you want included, that's when you tell it to include all pages. Or you could just say only the first page if you just want to say, hey, I've got this manuscript and that information came from, you could just have it print just the first page too. But that's for PDFs with the as image.
So for a PDF that you're going to use, they include all pages on, you
Yeah.
have to so check off the FBC handle story as image. You have to check both of those off, or you have to add both of those.
Well, you do either image or text,
Yeah. Okay.
depending on, you wouldn't ever use both of those categories.
Mm-hmm.
You would never have both of these checked for the same item.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure what would happen. Maybe one of them would likely take precedence, but I'm not sure which. But in general, you would never use both of these categories on the same media item. Like for a PDF, you'd use one or the other. So, and the whole thing is like, if it's as an image, it will treat it like an image, just like a picture. So by default, that's like 48%, I believe, size. So it's designed to put 2 to a page. So you'd get maybe about 4 items, I guess, depending on how high they are. But if it's as text, then it actually just comes in like normal. Or if you do as text, the sizing doesn't matter because it will just bring it in like text and it will use the margins and everything. And that is one thing you also have to be careful about, because your book has margins, your document has margins. By default, it's going to ignore the document's margins when you say include story as text, so the margins may shift slightly. So if it does look different, that's probably why.
Is there anything we should do for that, or any alteration?
Well, what I would do is in Family Book Creator, look to see what your margins are. And that's under the preferences and text and page layout. That's under here, text and page layout. So here's your margins right here. Then I would try to set the margins at least similar
In the Word document or
in the Word document. And then that way you should see exactly how it is, so you can play with how you want it formatted before you do it. So, but you know, the big thing is because you've got the gutter, and especially for doing two-sided printing, you're gonna have a larger, more outside margins. Whereas if you did a Word document, you might have just said, oh, just give me a 1/4 inch margin all the way around. So the formatting will look different, you know, especially if you add pictures and stuff like that. So that's at least just something to be aware of. But like I said, when you do the book, like I said, just do it, see how it looks, and then you can play with rearranging the media, sizing the media. And if you're working on like a specific family, you can just do the book just for that specific family. You know, rather than say do all generations, just say, oh, just do it like 1 or 2 generations. So you can see how that family's media looks. And the book will generate quickly, and then so you can see, rather than, you know, if I did like this main book on the Wallers from the ancestors that came over, I mean, this takes about 15 to 20 minutes to generate this book. And that's a tough thing to, you know, do a little tweak and then wait 20 minutes to see how it turns out. And, oh, gotta make another tweak, and, you know. So just do it like 1, 2 families at a time, and you'll save yourself a lot of hassle. And because like this book for 2 generations, 1, 2 generations, only takes about 30 to 45 seconds to generate. So you can see your end result a lot quicker. And then once you're happy with everything, then go generate the big book. And and that's only while you're making settings. Usually how I do it is I will generate the big book and let it take the 20 minutes, however long, or just have it save as a PDF. And then I will sit and concentrate, and I won't generally print it out. I'll just look at it on another computer, or on look on another computer, or just on a PDF, and keep flipping back and forth, and just concentrate on the media and just say, okay, this one needs to be bigger. This media needs to get rearranged, or say, oh, here's a duplicate photo. You know, I still occasionally find that. You know, I'll make a note, or in Family Tree Maker, I'll take care of that right there. I'll resize it, rearrange it, whatever, and go on to the next family. So there's a couple different ways of doing it. So
The only thing with doing it that way is you have to remember that the children will come out different, like than in the final. So
yeah, and if you're worried about that, you could well, that's just something you just have to worry, because like the kids, if they don't have their own section, well, I'm not going to worry about it, because I can just go to that child, then run the book to see how their media looks. You know, especially if you're doing a lot of tweaking and stuff to get it just right. So, like I said, there's a lot of different ways of accomplishing the same thing. You just kind of work what works best for you. So. Does anyone have any other questions? Just see who's all here. Thought I heard someone come on. No, don't.
Have you ever worked with the Shutterfly book?
No, me personally, no, I haven't.
Mm-hmm. I've done quite a few Shutterfly books, and I'm debating whether it would be easier to generate things I want with like certainly the trees for sure, and other things, and then insert it in the Shutterfly book. It seems like it's a lot more complicated deal with the text and arranging and importing pictures in and so forth.
Yeah.
It's just a thought.
Yeah, it's,
I did a Shutterfly book
Yeah.
for my
Uh-huh.
grandchildren about their ancestors.
Uh-huh.
And I did insert family group sheets that worked very easily.
Yeah, I thought it would. I like how fast this makes everything, and it certainly gives me ideas that I could include in a Shutterfly book if I want to. Obviously, it's much more expensive. I have to get the deals and wait
Oh,
for
yes.
when they say unlimited pages and that kind of thing before I would order. But seems like there's lots of steps to getting everything where you want it. But with Shutterfly, you can arrange it pretty easily.
How often does the unlimited pages come up? Because I know I've priced out a book for my kids, which is just an album, not a family tree.
Yeah.
And it's $250.
Right.
But
Right.
if it's pages, unlimited pages, it's only like 50 or 60. So I'm sitting here now waiting.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
haven't seen a deal for about 3 or 4 months now. So I don't know how often they come up with the unlimited pages.
They're doing it more now than they used to. I just got a Christmas book that's 111 pages, and it was $50. But I think it's come up like 3 times since September. But you just have to be ready.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to work ahead and be ready
Right.
when they have that, because it is very expensive. But it's a beautiful book when you get,
yeah. Yes,
what-
Paulette, I'm thinking that maybe the more you use it, the more often you get those offers.
Oh, really?
Because I have never seen that at all.
Really?
I've seen 50% off.
Oh,
but
yeah,
not
that's common.
unlimited pages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I
it's
saw-
it's not often.
Yeah, I saw limited for the last time I saw limited was this time last year.
Oh, no.
And I haven't
I've
seen any since.
yeah, there's been more than that. As I say, I know there's been at least 3 since September.
How many books have you made, Pauline or Paulette?
Oh, probably 30 or 40.
Oh,
And but I haven't done this is the first time I've done a 111 page one. And I put all my Christmas
Oh.
letters in from the time I was first married till present. And then my husband's family lived in upstate New York, and we would go there for Christmas and be there for the week after Christmas. And there were like 20 to 25 of us. And I wrote all the traditions and had pictures of what we did and all that kind of thing. So, and we'll
Paulette,
put Christmas recipes in.
oh, wonderful. Have you had any trouble with pages falling out?
Not yet.
No, I just pulled out some of my Walgreens books and the pages are all falling
Oh,
out.
okay. Well, I've done a lot of the
All right.
8x8s that are free, supposedly.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
free for them. You have
If
to
you're
do the
not a
shipping,
customer,
and
then-
it's 20 pages.
If
Yeah,
you're a customer, then no wonder you're getting the deals. you
I
know.
think
Yeah.
so. I think that's why you get them.
okay.
Uh-huh.
Although I've seen them on Facebook. I mean, I don't know.
How
But
about we send
anyway,
our books to you to have them done by Shutterfly?
yeah.
We'll send our books to you.
That could be. And this last one that I got, it looked like it had been dropped in the mail, and the corners were kind of bent. And so I called them back, and I said, my corners are bent, and on the front and the back of my book. They never blinked an eye. They said, we will reprint it free and sent you expedited shipping. So,
Nice.
they
Well-
do guarantee their product.
All right. Thank you. Now I have made a decision. One, I'm working on 3 books, but there's one that's going to be for the children and grandchildren. I'm going to go to Shutterfly for sure.
Yeah.
But the other ones I might consider with the family tree maker.
Yeah. The other thing that I like is that I think that the quality of the pictures are better, because I think when you put it into Family Tree Maker, it compresses it somehow, and the pictures aren't as clear. Is that right, John?
Well, no, Family Tree Maker doesn't. Sometimes if you use the if you have your tree linked with Ancestry, use like the Save to Ancestry feature, especially
Mhm.
like from newspapers.com.
Okay,
That only saves a very low resolution.
right. Well,
Printing you-
I
wouldn't
printed
matter.
out. As I say, I've only had the software a week, so
Yeah.
I'm not real familiar with how it works. But and I did a download, and I printed out the book I'm working on, and some of the pictures are fuzzy that I printed out. So I wondered about that. Some are
Well,
clear.
Biggest problem is getting the media so that it's nice and clear.
yeah.
and I don't know if it's the way that the families, like I've got a lot of families sending me pictures. I don't know if it's the way that they're saving them to me or what it is, but some of them are just really fuzzy. And
Yeah,
And some can also be, if you're printing out on your home printer, you know, especially on plain paper,
right.
a lot
right.
different, you know, where it's printed on a professional printing press.
Yeah.
You know.
But I know you say you do these for family reunions and you print several of them, and I agree. I mean, I've worked with 4 cousins on this. They're older than me or one's younger, and I would like to give each one of them a book. But if I do, I'm going to have to spend $50 each. I mean, I feel like they deserve a book like
Yeah.
this because they've helped me so much, you know. But it does get expensive, even at the cheapest rate, to give them something like that.
Yeah, because that's why I'm looking at like Lulu Express.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can do a 470 page book with color standard. And if I print like about 10 bucks, the cost is with shipping is probably down to about 27 bucks a piece.
Yeah.
And if I do like 30, then it like drops it down to like 20.
Yeah.
20,
Well,
30
definitely
something.
family. This is the cheapest way to go if you're going to distribute it to a lot of people. No
Yeah.
question.
John,
But-
how many pages did you say that book was that you did with Lulu?
Well, the one I'm thinking of doing, I'm trying to get it down to 470 pages because I want to spiral bind it, and that's the max. Right now, it's like
Oh.
it's just over 500. So then I'd have to go to a perfect bind, which is fine too. And the cost from 470 to 500 isn't that much, you know, it's maybe adds
Okay.
$1 to total cost per book.
All right,
And
great.
the
You
neat
were
thing on-
talking
on-
about the, oh, I'm sorry. You were talking about this $27 book. How many pages did that have?
That would be 470.
Really?
Mm.
Oh,
And the neat thing on Lulu is you can go to their site, click on pricing, you type in the size of the page, how many pages, whether you want color, black and white, and it will tell you right then and there what the unit cost is. It can even tell you what the shipping is.
You just send it.
That's using like the standard shipping, so delivery would be in about 3 weeks.
mhm,
You know, you can do expedited shipping, so that brings the cost up. And
right.
So do you?
I just printed or had printed 8 200-page books on Lulu with hardcover, and delivered. They were about $23 US. And the only problem is, and I would recommend if you ever do that, use the expedited shipping. I use basic shipping. I ordered on November 1st. I sent 2 to Great Britain. They arrived 10 days later. I sent 2 to the US. They arrived 10 days later. And I sent 4 to my brothers and sisters in Canada, and no one has got them yet.
Oh,
Oh,
So, and I can't check the shipping because I didn't expedite it, so there's no tracing. So for an extra $3, it's worth using expedited
Huh.
postal service.
Yeah,
John-
that's interesting.
John, when you say that 470-page book with Lulu Express
yeah,
is $7, was that color?
yeah, color standard. There's
Color
color standard and
does that
color
mean?
premium. So if you got lots of photos, you might want to look at doing that. And then when I do this, I am gonna order just one copy to see what it's like. And I'm even thinking I may just take my current book right now
Do that.
and just print it just so I can see what it will look like with the color
Yeah, I'd like to
standard.
know if, I'd really like to know if these pictures I have are going to turn out better
Yeah,
or be the same as what they look like on the computer, but I guess it's trial and error kind of thing.
If you go premium color or deluxe color on Lulu, it doubles the price of the book.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So a $20 book will be $40.
Mm-hmm.
So it is quite a bit more expensive to use the high color quality.
I think it kind of depends on how many times you're going to be printing this book. You know, if you make revisions and so forth.
yeah. Because yeah, here's the Lulu Express site. You know, you can just click on pricing. So you tell, okay, it's a book, trim size. Okay, I'm gonna do 8.5 by 11. You know, say 470 pages. Say like color standard. You can choose your paper size, weight. Then say if I do coil bound, glossy matte, doesn't matter. Okay, the cost per book is $27, and then there's shipping. Now, if I do say color premium, you know,
Yeah,
that price
huge
jumps up to
Oh,
83.
yeah. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, and like I said, and I don't think the page size really matters too much. Okay, a little bit. Okay, knock $5 off. Yeah, it's about $3 that way. Now, and if you can do
Picture.
black and white, you know, and like I said, that is options, then, you know, that even drops down like $10.
Yeah.
So,
How does the binding, the various bindings affect the cost, like the perfect bound? I don't know what the
perfect
difference
bound,
is.
I don't think matter. Oh, okay, that's actually a little cheaper.
What?
Case wrap. Okay, that's $5. Linen. Okay, linen color.
Can you put a picture on the cover?
Yeah, because when you do it, you go
There's one
to
here.
like say create book.
Oh, mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yes, very nice.
Yeah, so you can take anything you want for the, I just took that off because
Yeah.
that's a ship similar to what my family would have come over on.
Hmm.
And you can
Are
just
you a
click-
Mayflower person? Is that a
No,
Ma-
no, very shortly thereafter, probably 10 years
Oh.
later.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, because see, when you do your projects here, you enter the title, then here you
Yeah.
upload your PDF, you select all this stuff, and then here you can either like create a cover. Well, yeah, I've got to do this. Actually, I've got some.
What size
Yeah.
books do most of you make your books in? The one I was talking about was a 12 by 12.
I would probably go 8 by 11, 8.5 by 11.
Yeah,
I'm 8.5 by 11.
yeah.
Yes.
That's how I do it. Like, see, this is one I had uploaded, and then see here you can, yeah, revise. You know, and then here you can create a cover and do it, or you can even upload your own cover, and they give you a template on how it needs to be done. And
John Jay, I don't know what
Yeah.
The book that you showed us,
Yeah,
cover of that one with the ship on it, is that the paper wraparound? And then there's underneath that, there's the hard cover?
no, it's strictly just, that's the hardcover.
Okay,
So that's the hardcover version. And I
Mhm.
again did like John, I just ordered one so I could see what it looked like. Basically, it's like a draft copy.
Yeah.
And then from there, I went back and modified and sent the 8 copies out to my family with the
Mhm.
changes. Just to show you the quality, you were asking about the quality.
Yes.
This is the plain color.
Mhm.
So the quality is pretty decent on photos.
yeah.
So those
Yeah.
are photos that family just sent me as JPEGs and I just clicked them in. So, you know, that's pretty nice looking quality.
Is this Lulu you're talking about that printed it?
Express
Okay.
Lulu, yeah,
Express Lulu, okay.
yeah.
When you're getting your family to send photos to you, how do you ask them to scan them? Like, is that by TIFF or JPEG? Do you specify, or does?
Virtually all of mine came JPEG. And a lot of mine came, they just took a picture of a picture. You know, they don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
scanners. So
Yeah,
now
I
the
have some of
quality,
those.
you don't quite get the same quality, you know, if you do that.
Right,
But
right.
I mean, if you look at these, for instance, this is one of my sisters. Now these were just, she just took a picture with her iPhone. And
Hmm.
sent them. So they're still quite decent,
Mhm.
Yeah,
but they're not quite as
iPhones are-
good as if you have an original JPEG file.
Okay.
yeah, iPhones take pretty good pictures right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and they can just be reflections or something, but that's why whenever I go visit relatives, I always got some portable scanners with me
Mm,
Mhm.
just to get.
good idea.
I had a 90-year-old relative of mine that I was trying to get some good pictures of. And if you can picture this, we were in her dark bathroom with the door closed, trying to get this picture so that it didn't have a big spot of light on it. And anyway, you do anything you have to, but he's a good sport.
So yeah, and in the family book creator group, I think there's even a section on there's a topic heading for like book publishing, where on book publishing there's like 15 posts in it where a variety of people have mentioned services that they've used, and so that's something you can also look at.
And John Jay,
Yeah.
have you ever had any trouble with any of your bound ones, like not the coil ones, but the other ones coming apart?
I've just ordered the hardcover version and it's very solid and very well built. I don't see that it would ever come apart. But
Does Lulu guarantee their books?
I don't know, John, have you ever heard of a guarantee?
I haven't heard one way or the other.
Yeah.
I haven't. Well, like I said, I've only ordered 2 books for that friend of mine. Probably by next month, I will be doing off a sample one, so I don't have any personal knowledge really of how well they hold up and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have ordered a couple spiral bound, and the one advantage of that is if you wanted to add something or really change, it was important to you to change something, for $5 they will cut it off and they'll put a new spiral on it. I guess I did make there are a couple copies I gave to my kids, and I thought something got missed in all my working and reworking. An important page got missed, so I'm thinking about having them cut the spiral off and put that page in. Now, I haven't had that done yet, so I don't know if that's going to mess up the whole where it's spiral bound, if it's going to mess it up or not. But they said they can do it for $5.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Joan, are you the one that said you did it for your grandchildren?
I did a Shutterfly book for my grandchildren, yes.
How was it different than like these books? What did you include in it?
I included, as I said, some family group sheets, many photos, some photo pages, and what I did was a family tree, my family tree and my husband's family tree. And then we had pictures of generations, of 5 generations or 4 generations. And so each, the grandparents, the great-grandparents, the great-great-grandparents, a photo of them, and then a little short biography about that family
Mhm.
so that they could read. My children didn't know anything that was in this book either. I did it for the
Mhm.
grandchildren, but my own children didn't know about this. So yeah, it was really the book that I've done that I'm most proud of,
Mm.
because I can see that, you know, it's going to be picked up on and off, and the kids have so many questions now that they ask about those people.
Mhm. That's a
Did you-
great idea.
Did you add in there any pictures of them or their parents? Or
Their parents, definitely.
okay.
Mhm.
One page is pictures of their parents as youngsters, and so I didn't identify who they were. So, you know, they're trying to figure out. Oh, yeah, because my son kind of looked like a girl because he had long curly hair. So they always think that's the daughter, but no, that's my
Uh-huh.
son. So that lots. Right, we were just fortunate to have a wedding picture of most of the ancestors back so many generations.
Hmm.
And that was Shutterfly, and that's, you know, that's holding up real well, but I'm finding that the Walgreens do not.
Okay.
Well, does anyone have any more questions?
All right, you know, this to me, the family book creator, I've never seen this before. This is all new to me. Somebody said purchasing it, you have to purchase this.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
on the just familybookcreator.com. You can get a free trial. So you can try it before you actually buy it.
Uh-huh.
And then it only works with Family Tree Maker. So you have to have Family Tree Maker first.
Yes, I do. All right.
So
How did you get, what's the first step in going to like downloading the guide? So where do you find all this?
well, when
If
you get the trial version or
Right,
you purchase it, they'll send you a download link.
right, okay.
And right in that download link, it's that download area is going to take you.
Okay. Are you talking?
Yep. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
going to take you
Take
here.
you to, oh, I
Here's the
see.
download area.
All right.
So you click on the Family Book Career 2019.
All right. All right. You're just in the family book creator site. Okay.
It's gonna take you to this link, or it should.
Right. Okay.
If not, straight to here. And then here you can download, there's the program itself.
All right.
And there's the user guide. And then there's even a quick start guide just to get you started. And
Which
that's
one
like
is
a 1-page document, I believe, maybe 2.
Okay. Now, who has actually done a book? Now, John, you have with this family book creator,
Yeah.
both Johns, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Both of you
John
have.
Jay only got the software about 4 or 5 months ago.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
And the first month or 2 was pretty tough, and I used John a lot for advice along the way.
Oh, okay.
But now I mean, I don't know all the features, but as I'm comfortable enough to to do the book, and I'm just about finished my second book.
Your second,
It'll be
okay.
about 450 pages, and it'll be the combined ancestor descendants book, which John did last
Oh,
yesterday, I think it was, or day before yesterday on
Yeah.
a video. So
I've
because
done
I was trying, I was really confused at how to, I want all the ancestors, but I also want all my kids. So if I start at me, I can get all my dad's ancestors, all my mom's ancestors, but then I don't get my grandchildren. I only get my daughter and son.
Yeah.
So that was kind of confusing as to where your start point was to create the families. So now with what I learned from John yesterday and the day before, I'm going to start at my parents. I'm going to do my dad's line as one section. I'm going to do my mother's line as a second section, and then I'll do my parents' descendants as a third section, which will give me, my brothers and sisters, and all my kids and my grandkids and their grandkids.
Yeah.
So that'll be about a 400, 500 page book roughly.
Wow. That'll be something.
Yeah, so that'll be a nice book. And what I've done is I've focused almost strictly on my direct lines. Like I have 8 lines that go back to the 1600s, but I only have 2,000 people in my my database. And people are saying, "Oh my God, I've got 100,000." But I've just focused on the main ones. I take the children of each main person, and that's it. I don't extend that out. And then I've been digging for stories. So I've got stories on almost everybody right back to the 1600s. So, and the note section, I'll have quite a bit of data. So that's kind of the focus I had. So rather than quantity of people. So I'm going to attempt it probably this weekend to try to create the book from John's advice, and we'll see.
Yeah.
Where did you find the picture of the ship that you put on there?
That I can't recall. It just came up somewhere on one of the sites that I was looking at. There's quite a few places. Someone just posted the other day, I think it was on Family Book Creator, a list of sites where you can get photos.
I think I found mine on Ancestry as a hint.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But digging back for the pictures was, and one of the reasons I went with just the basic color is that because I'm back so many generations, the first 8 or 10 generations have no photos.
Right.
And then I've got 2 or 3 generations that have only portraits because photography didn't exist yet.
Right.
And then I've got a couple generations that are all black and white photos. And then finally into color in the 50s or whenever color came out. So having in the plain color doesn't really, to me, hurt the quality of the book because I don't have hundreds and hundreds of high quality color pictures.
Yeah. One other neat thing in Family Book Creator, especially if you're bilingual or say if you're going to ship off a book to say an ancestor that might live in Germany or Norway or Sweden, wherever. I had one person mention what they do is, well, in Family Book Creator, you can tell it to output in Swedish, Norwegian, German. I don't know, there's like a dozen or so languages. But
That's
all your
amazing.
notes will still be in whatever language you put them in. So what he did is he does like the English version in like the person notes area. But then he did the other language, I think it was Norwegian, in the research note area. So when he does the English version for the English relatives, he prints it in English and then he has it print the person notes. When he does Norwegian, he tells it to output in Norwegian, but then rather than print the person notes, he tells it to print the research notes.
Interesting.
So then that way, and it helps if you're bilingual or you got a cousin that wouldn't mind translating it for you or something, you know, all the stories and stuff. So just one more little tidbit that Family Book Creator can do. So So,
Cranium?
Paulette, you're muted. I don't know if you're trying to talk to us.
Oh, yeah, I am. My clocks are ringing, so I put it on
Yeah.
mute. Anyway, I've only seen the area of notes. Just I don't see personal notes and research notes. Are they both there? Or have I just never noticed them before?
They're there. Are you talking in Family Tree Maker or?
Yeah,
Oh,
Family Tree
okay.
Maker.
Yeah, it's hang on here.
I do have the new version of 2019 of the Family Tree Maker now, which I'm still trying to learn how to navigate around in too.
Yeah. Okay, so you see, here's like the person notes area. So here's like
Yes,
the
okay.
person note area. Right next to it here is the research note.
Interesting. I've never noticed that before.
I didn't
And
either.
research notes are private by default. So typically I use them for is like, oh, maybe I don't have time to create the citation, but I say, okay, so I got this information from this source. So
Right.
research notes that, or maybe it's just something that I don't want printed out in any book.
Right.
But I'll have a note for, just for my own personal reference,
Yeah.
as to, maybe why this data differs from this other source or something like that.
Right. I have notes like that, but I've never noticed that there's two kinds of notes. Can you cut and paste those notes?
Yeah, you can
'Cause
cut
mine-
and paste between them and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Well, I think I'm gonna have to move all my person ones over to my research because if all that is printing out.
Yeah.
And
Show her where to find them on the tree view.
yeah, that's where I'm switching over. It's this recording really slows some things down. Of course, I'm also looking at getting a new laptop. My laptop is about 5 years old.
Oh,
Even though it doesn't have 16 gig of RAM and a solid state drive, and I mean it's
I've noticed lately with using the dark mode and the new Facebook, it's slowing a lot of things down.
yeah, it's but while it's over on this side, well, here, man, let me just stop sharing for a bit. Maybe that will help there real quick. Let me shut a few other things down.
So while you're doing that, John, when you mention other languages, like my wife's family are all French Canadian. If I was to go into a book that I did in English and then changed it to French, would it change all like the descriptions where it says, Edward Ball was born on such and such a date in such and such a city?
Yeah, it
married
changes
so and so.
that. Yes,
That would
it
all go to
changes-
French, but my notes would stay English.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, that would be handy. Yeah.
So, but it's like for Norwegian, rather than born, I think it's bon. Marriage, it's like gift, GIFT.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've had to translate stuff from Norwegian. But yeah, it does that. Any of the place names will be the English in your notes, but all the wording and stuff, for born, marriage, that will be in those respective languages. So
Good. I'm going to give that a try.
yeah, here's the here's here's the notes area,
Shares.
and then
John.
so right here is the person note area.
John, you need to share.
Oh, whoops. Oh yeah, I had it up. I just forgot to hit share. So here's the note area. Here's the person note area. And then there's the research right next to it.
okay,
And like I said, this padlock's on, so that's private by default. So
gotcha. I have some work to do on my Family Tree Maker.
so but yeah, so
Go through the units Nancy has available on the Family Book Creator Users Group.
Family Tree Maker Users Group.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, if you're using Family Tree Maker, yeah, those units in the main Family Tree Maker user group is pretty decent, so.
I think some clever person, maybe it was you, John, that said one day, if you don't print a book and you keep waiting until it's perfect, you'll never get there.
Yeah, that's
you never
true.
will. It's, you
And
just gotta take a time, you gotta just pull the trigger and, you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
Any good genealogist realizes that any family tree is always a work in progress, you know.
Yes,
Mhm.
for
What you
sure.
can do with that is what I've done is I printed the original, which I call my draft. And
No.
that was version 1. Then I printed the eight I did last week for my family or last month, and I called that version 2.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing a little more modification that I see I want to change on the same book, and that's going to be volume or version 3.
Yeah.
So if the books ever get mixed together or in the same place, you know, you'll be able to look at them and say, well, which is the most current version?
Yeah. And that's why I always print the dates on any, even just reports in Family Tree Maker and on the
Mhm.
books. And then I just always tell people, well, if you're looking at 2 different copies and wondering which one, just look at the date, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Good idea.
because it's like, I mean, I even said, you know, after that last reunion, you know, where I literally printed a case of paper, it's like, well, after the reunion, it's all obsolete because it's outdated. You know, because that
That's
reunions,
true.
even though you can hound your relatives until you get them face to face, they say, oh, well, so-and-so, oh yeah, just had a baby, or, you know,
Mhm.
whatever, or may even said, well, you got the birth date wrong here, or the
Mhm.
location, or we've got locations now, and
Mhm.
so, yeah, as soon as you print it, it's outdated. So,
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
so,
Exactly.
but anyway, so, well, this is the last Family Book Creator, well, at least for this week. Next week, I'm doing Charting Companion, and, but yeah, I'm sure we'll be doing this again, maybe January or February for sure, so.
Thank you very kindly.
Yep,
Really good
Yes,
job.
Very
thank you.
helpful.
Thank you, John.
okay, yep, and we'll
Thanks.
see everyone later.
All
Bye.
right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.